Wait.
Yeah, thing.
Yo, what's up?
Oh, Joyee.
Horror movie, Joyee.
The entire party wait for you one person.
老板呢?
All right. Yeah, we can start now. So Nicholas or Sue, you want to introduce yourself, and then whichever want to share your screen, you can email.
Okay, I'll share my screen. All right, Sue, start.
Go!
Today is
This is not what we
honestly how Nicholas bullies Sue.
Okay, now,
bully
okay,
me in school, then what bully me now?
very good.
No,
Okay, anyway. Yeah, hi, I'm Nicholas. For those who don't know me, so I teach part-time at Taylor's University, and then I do other stuff, freelance architecture.
what stuff?
Random stuff, which I will explain later.
You put him in this position.
You're trying to facilitate. Okay. Continue.
Okay, no. If you want to do the intro, I'm going to share my screen.
No. I have nothing to intro.
This is as awkward as Tinder intro.
I know.
Hey, Nicholas. I see you again.
Ooh.
Okay, you guys see the screen, right?
Not that background again.
What is that? Pills or what?
Yeah, he's okay.
The way you got mustache, what the?
Yeah,
Is that real or what?
It's real.
Is it filter?
I don't even
Oh my god.
Zoom do face recognition right now, like with this filter thing.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Everyone shut up. Okay,
Attention.
Okay, all right. Okay, let's start. I was just going to do a quick one for those who don't know Vernadoc. So I'm involved with this thing called Vernadoc. It is basically a... Oh, how do you do this? Okay, so it's a very simple methodology that we basically document vernacular architecture. And then we collect the data and information on site using very basic technique to produce a very high quality measured drawing. And we hope to basically, the point is to inspire building owners or people in the community who live there or within that community to realize the value of their property or the building that they live, that's actually it's beautiful and it's worth conserving the heritage. So the methods that we use is very simple. All measurements are drawn immediately on site onto the final board with pencil and paper. And then drawings will be inked later on after we finish our on-site measurements and drawings. And the drawings is produced to be understandable by everyone, even people who have no background in architecture or design in general. So I'm just going to show you a few steps of how we do it. So we measure on site. So I'm gonna just go through this quickly. If you guys have any questions, you can ask, or we can do it later. But so yeah, so this is the project step. So the first step that we do is measuring on site, and we use a very basic water level to get a datum line. We draw it up, and then we just start measuring and draw. And drawing on site with pencil first. And then we ink it after we finish all the pencil lines. And the last step is actually exhibition on site. So this is very important because we feel that drawings of what we've done should be exhibited back at where we usually do the drawing, so that the owner or the people who live there in that community have a chance to view the final products that we produce. And then we also have a seminar within the community. We can talk about heritage or conservation or or anything depending on the organizer on what kind of topic they want to arrange. So there is also publication for every camps and every building that we do. In Malaysia, we are starting this up, and we are thinking of collecting data first before we start doing any publication. So the aim is actually to raise value of local building tradition, and that and it's important to conserve. So the camp, or what we call a Vernadoc camp, is the format is a 2 weeks camp on site, having measuring, inking, and then the exhibition. And who anyone can join and can be international participants as well from different various backgrounds. So once you're in the camp, the participants are basically volunteer. So what they need to do is they don't need to pay to join the camp. What they need to pay is transportation to the camp, to the location of the camp. And then once you're there, the 2 week is basically being, your 2 weeks room and board is basically being taken care of by the organizer. So that's the general format of the camp. And it's a 2 week documentation process. So I'm gonna just talk about my first camp experience, and Sue is gonna talk about hers for a bit, because I've actually to this date I've participated in 10 different camps, and 10 different camps are very different, even though we have the same format of 2 weeks, but the experience itself, it's too long to just summarize in a half an hour session. So so my first camp was in Phuket on the top left, and then second was in Malaysia in Sungai Buloh. Then I went to Bali for my third, Bangkok for my fourth, then Klong in Malaysia. Then I flew to Italy for a camp there. And then after that to Bali, and then to China, and then Cambodia after China. That was in November last year. And then we had our most recent one in Malaysia in Taiping. This is the Taiping market in January of this year. So I'm going to start by my first camp, which is the Vernadoc Phuket camp. So I didn't know Vernadoc until 2017 of May, which I was introduced by a friend. And he was basically telling me, there's this thing, this drawing that we're doing. I'm not sure if you're interested. So I was obviously very interested to what they were doing, but I was also very curious. I saw the drawings and I couldn't believe that, it takes 2 weeks to complete the drawings, because I wasn't sure, is this guy lying to me? So I was really curious basically to find out more. So I decided to join this camp. So when I arrived, yeah.
Unbelievable in the sense that because the speed, or was it because the standardized of the drawing?
Difficult, sorry?
I mean, when you meant the drawings are unbelievable, was it because the speed that we finished within 2 weeks, or because of the quality that's produced?
Quality that was shown to me. I look at it, I was like, this can be done in 2 weeks. Like, come on, it's not possible.
Okay.
So yeah, you'll see some. For those who haven't seen it, you can look at the drawings and you can tell me later. So anyway, so my first camp was interesting because they only give me the date. You have to come. The camp is from 17 to whatever date, and I didn't know that. Should I arrive first? So I was no communication with the organizer. So when I went to Phuket, I was basically late. I arrived on that day of the date that was written in the calendar, but I arrived late, and then all the other people have arrived and they've chosen what they were drawing. So I was shown to this building, meet up with the other members, and then they basically told me that, okay, we are going to be doing this drawing and that, and then you'll be doing, because it's the last one, so you'll be doing all these motifs that are going to be in the building. So this is what you'll be documenting. So when I look around, it's like my jaw dropped. I didn't show it, but in my mind, I was like, how the hell are you going to draw this stuff? Because I had no experience in measuring this. And I was looking around, and then they would say, it's not just one, but there were a lot of different motifs in every single part of the building. And I was like, oh, this is just ridiculous. And then I'll just say, okay, all right, fine. Okay, let's just do it. Sure. Then before the day end, they actually told me that, sorry, we have to change. You're not going to draw that anymore. So these are just the house I'm showing. So you're not going to draw this anymore. You're going to draw the gable end, which is this pediment here. Then this building is 2-story high, but is more than the usual 2-story, probably like almost 2.5 to 3-story high. So I looked it up. I looked at this and like, there's no way we can get up there. Definitely no way. because the house is not in a very good condition, and there's no way the owner only allow one person to get in. So that was fun, you know, like okay, I was even you know, I was basically more pressure to me to document this pediment. But the guy who was the manager, or the guy who was in charge with the camp, he was pretty good. Even though he's Thai, he doesn't speak a word of English, but he kind of explained, you know, this is how you can do it in a way that I could understand. So so I kind of, you know, got how to do it. But then, so all of us who were in the camp were from India, Bhutan, Serbia, and Cambodia, and they're all first timers. Most all the international participants, and then they told us on that day that, oh, because we were all also anxious to start drawing and wasn't sure how to start anyway. So the next day they told us, oh, we're gonna meet the mayor. So that was putting another pressure on top of us, because like, oh, there's no time for us. So this kind of lasted like half the day wasted, and then went to lunch. So when we went back, we have to like start immediately. Okay, how do you do this thing? So that was like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So then that just goes on for like a week in that building. So we start drawing with pencil, we'll start measuring. For my case, because I couldn't get up there, so I had to rely on photographs and basically do it like in, I was also using my computer as well. So, you know, kind of dividing up the gable and, you know, getting the right proportion and everything. But I also have information of the section drawings and everything from the other people who were doing it. So this is basically how a camp would look like in every other camp as well. And, you know, sometimes we'll work late to the night, sometimes not so much. But this one, they were trying to figure out the alignment between the 2 sections that they were doing. So they had to work that out. So I'm just showing you some photos of what I was doing. I was doing this in pencil. I had to draw all these leaves and grapes and whatever they have in that, you know, ornament. So it was just kind of not at all very relaxing, but it took a lot of time. So in every camp, it's a 2 weeks program. So there's a break in the middle, and that's the format of how the camp. And it really depends on the organizer where they want to take the break. So the next week, because it was in Phuket, they had wanted to move the inking studio to the beach. So we got a very, really nice location to ink. This is just showing you the bar actually that we were set up as our studio. So we set that up, and then most of us, I would say half of us, didn't finish the pencil drawing. So we had to finish it up when we're here at the beach. That also took up a lot of extra time, because if we have finished earlier, we could have do the inking, finish the inking earlier and didn't have to go a lot of late nights. Which we kind of did for this camp, because and a lot of us being first time, you know, some of us stay up to 2, 3 o'clock almost every night to try to finish this. But this doesn't happen in all the camp. I'm sure Sue can agree on certain things. So this is us. And then the thing is, for later you'll see the drawings that we do. The reason why we have that sort of very romantic-like quality is because we dilute the ink. We have different gradients of different variation of ratio, of ink to ratio. So we create like a medium or light or dark ink to create that effect when we draw. So this is my first line inking. And this is, you can't see it, but in the middle part is actually where the lines, the full ink line or 100% ink has been put on. And the ornaments are all in pencil. So just close up of the drawing. So these are just other participants who's also doing the same thing. This is a drawing from one of the participants. So she's the organizer and she has been doing, I think, the third camp or something, but she has really, really beautiful skills. So this is just a door and wall that she's doing. So a close up of the detail of the wood texture that she's trying to achieve. This very antique wood-like texture. Yeah, so back to my drawing. So this is my drawing I'm producing. So I have a little date at the top upper right, top right corner, tell you, you know, how long it took, like from here to here is a very slow process because I was basically dotting all the way. There was no line, because I could have drawn lines in where the, like I could draw lines, but for me, this wouldn't work because it wouldn't have that very nice effect that I wanted. So I just decided on doing it with dots. And so this is a pretty large drawing. It's slightly smaller than A1, but bigger than A2. Just another close up. So yeah, so half of it, and this is not even done. So we have 3 more days to the exhibition. So it's like, oh my God, it's like just crazy. How do we finish it?
This is how we feel every time before finals, right?
It's basically the same feeling.
3 days before GG.
Yeah.
Same, you know. So yeah, so here we had a crit session just to check up on everyone's progress. You know, this is, so on the day before the exhibition, this is, I don't think it's finished yet. There's something's not finished. So this is the drawings that I have.
Was the upper portion the special inking method that you were mentioning earlier?
Which upper portion? This one?
Yeah.
Like here? Oh wait, sorry.
The one that is,
right?
yeah, the one
So
that
this
is,
one here.
yeah, the one that is shaded.
The thick part, right?
This
Yeah.
one?
The dark part, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the shadow.
Oh.
I have
Oh,
a close up of the shadow.
She's asking how you do the technique.
Oh wait, I have a close up of that. Come
All
on.
right, cool. Ooh. Wow.
So this is the wood texture. So these lines, so it's so if you look at these lines here, the darker ones, that is ink that is not diluted. So in this part here is actually ink that is diluted. Let me highlight it. So these are all lines with different gradients of the ink. Even the dots is also not full ink because when we dilute the ink, it actually has a watercolor-like quality to it. And you can, what's the word? You can actually manipulate it very easily compared to an ink that is not diluted.
Awesome. Wow.
So that's the final drawing and in the exhibition. And that's the international team. So yeah, so this drawing, it's pretty big. It's not small. So I think it's smaller than your drawing, Sue. But your drawing is bigger.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
But yours is really,
yeah, so I mean, so going in, you know, like all these different camps, like I say, every experience is very different. So yeah, I think what I'm gonna show you next is usually for these camps, for the one that I've been at least, first day is usually the adventure. Some camp, not so much because I have partners or I have a company that join me. But there are others that it's completely, totally like an adventure because they give you very vague destination. That's like, especially what I'm going to show you is actually in Italy, because in Italy, the site that we were going to is actually in Montebrandone. It's like on the east side of Italy. I have never been there. And when you're in Italy, not many people speak English. And even the emails that I receive from the organizer, they are not very, it's just like very short, like come here to here, just like, basic English like that. So it was so difficult to get there. And because like, it was just totally, surreal because like, I didn't know where I was going. I had to like take a bus because there was no train or plane that go there. And I can tell you that if you've taken the bus anywhere in the world, it's just a very surreal experience because like, unlike train station where you have a train station and then it will stop at the station, like buses tend to stop like on the roadside. So when you stop on the roadside, you're like, like, am I in the right place? Like, where am I? Where do I go next? And this town in particular, like there's no public transport that gets to the town center. And like I checked on Google, I think every bus is like every 8 hours one. So there are like only two buses a day. So I was like, oh my God, how do people even get here? But I got there like a day before, and I met a very nice guy at the B&B that I was staying. He was telling me, why are you coming here anyway? Like, no one comes here except for Italians. So it was just, but it was a very nice town. Definitely, it's on the hilltop town. And it was in the middle of January, very not too cold, but it was still cold when we were out drawing. So this is basically the town, and yeah, I think just the experience was very beautiful. And this is one of the participants from Bhutan. So yeah. So just to show you how we draw, so in the next drawing you see, so this is a pencil line drawing. And then once the pencil line is done, we'll start putting in the outline. This is a plan, so you have the thicker outline of the sauna. This is sauna in Russia, I think. And then we'll start putting a thinner outline. So this is done with 0.1 pen for all the materials and the wood planks, the floor, anything ceiling that's above. And then we start texturing it with the thin ink, we call it, which is the diluted ink. So that's where we create the texture and everything. And then at the last stage is always the shadow. So the shadow kind of creates the three-dimensional quality that you see in the drawing. Yeah, so just to show you that these are basically you saw in my first drawing. So this is the 10 drawings that I produced. This is the one in Malaysia. This is in my first camp in Bali. This is the Bangkok drawing. This is in Kluang. This is the Italian one, which is this is such a ridiculous drawing, but it's an unfolded facade. So because they wanted us to do it like this. So the plan, I think only an architect would understand this, but the plan is basically, so you go up here, then you turn a corner, which is, the facade is actually this building, and then you turn another corner, and then you look at this building here, which is here. So it's like a L-shaped sort of drawing, but I didn't know why they wanted to do it, but you know.
But how big is this drawing?
It's again larger than A2, smaller than A1. It's like in between. It's like 55 centimeters, 55 by 70, I think.
And all the brick texture, it's hand sketch.
Yes, yes. All the brick texture is hand sketch, one by one. Yeah. But
It's a test to sanity and humanity.
Yeah, but this one wasn't that difficult compared to my first one.
Hmm.
Yeah, for some
Do you have
reason.
a close up?
Do I have a close up?
Yeah.
Maybe after
You-
I
you
can
need
you zoom?
You need to see it.
Zoom, man.
Zoom though.
It's nice.
I
Zoom on Zoom.
how do you zoom?
Control plus.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe later lah. You can control plus. I have some photos I can share if you want to see the zoom. Like I think.
Arrange backstage meeting for you with the singer.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, I can show you later. But so this is the other drawing in Bali. It's a rice barn. It's an elevated, quite a little cute little house. Not house. Where they store like the rice. And then this one is in China in Pingyao. So
It's nice.
Wow.
so these are all the wood texture. This is a 1 to 10. So this is a huge drawing as well. Not a big, not a small one. So this is the Cambodia one, the temple. And then
Wait,
what?
the rice barn, right?
Yeah.
That building, like what was like, was that the whole building? No, right? There's like
No,
more.
this is a detail of the
Right.
the building. I'm just doing like a front facade detail. There's
Bigger,
actually it's not too big. It's only like 2 meters by 4 meter, and it's elevated. It's a very small building. Yeah.
Okay. So the whole team was doing this?
No, the whole team was doing the compound because there were other
Ah.
buildings in that camp. Like there was a bamboo house and
Right.
and other and they have like long elevations like plants. And then this is our most recent one in Taiping. This is the wet market in Taiping. This is a detail of the food court.
Awesome.
Yeah, so this is Sue's drawing.
Wow, Sue.
Yeah, so
So-
this is like a huge A1, yeah, and it was 1 to 2.5,
It wasn't supposed to be that. Somehow you
which
did
is really
it.
huge.
Yeah. Somehow you did
Sorry?
it. You got
Yeah,
the scale
actually,
wrong.
because
The ornament of an Indian temple, is it?
no, I could choose to do it like smaller size, which is more doable.
Yeah.
Like looking back now, I think that I would have chosen to do it in a small scale, yeah, and like focus more on maybe like a couple of more views. But this was all like stippling, which is the dot, and cause we kind of like need to reflect the material of the, you know, whatever is being built with how like the technique we draw it. So if it's plaster, then you should draw it as plaster, which is what I try to do lor. And then yeah, these are basically I forgot to explain to you what these are, but these are actually the angel, yeah, guarding
Yeah.
each column.
I think the right
of
one is
the
Garuda.
temple that we were drawing. So
I think this is Garuda.
yeah, Garuda.
I forgot what the lady's
This
name
is I forgot her name.
Apsara. I think it's called Apsara, right?
Something like the Apsara, but not quite
Oh.
the same.
Oh,
Kinari.
it's called Kinari. Yeah,
Yeah, it's written there.
yeah. I think
Where?
Kinari and Garuda.
Okay.
Yours was studying Indian.
Okay, your drawings.
I know. Too small. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, so Sue, you want to share your first experience?
Actually, I didn't prepare like anything much except some photos that I took like during the trip. Yeah. But you know, I don't have slides like anything on Nicholas. But
Sue,
yeah, I can share.
Sue,
Hmm?
why got so many specs one?
What spec?
In the middle.
Oh yeah, oh my god, I tell you, it's so hard to keep the paper clean, man. Cause right, it's the same paper that you bring to site, and then like, you know, you just get like damn ratchet drawing it everywhere. Like you draw it on the floor, you bring it like everywhere, and then every day you have to pack it up like really nicely, and it's just, I mean, I'm not the most like careful person, so like
Yeah.
like things will get places, and like some people like stuff fall on their paper, and it's like so heartbreaking because sometimes you cannot really clean it.
Oh
And
shit.
it's fine. It doesn't matter because I have my paper. I have like bird poop on it, like whatever.
Yeah, but like, you know, if it's really obvious, it could just like really kill your mood.
But that's I mean, like the first time is always like that. You always
Yeah.
are so precious with it, but then again after.
Oh my god!
after
And honestly, I was like, I could not finish it. I think I was like the second last one in the whole like hall to
Yeah, I think so.
finish my drawing. So I'm sitting next to Nicholas, and he's just like done already, and I'm just like, help, you know. But
You could
yeah,
have, hello, help a bit, please.
No, she has someone helping her.
dude, I had like 5 people helping me, and because everyone's just like finished, and we need to like go and eat. So like in the end, someone helped me do the site plan, and then someone helped me do some shadows, and yeah, I had like quite a lot of help. So it was,
you will have like one drawing per person throughout the entire 2 weeks, right?
Yes. And some people have done 2 drawings also.
yeah.
That's, I mean, it's very impressive. But then can I ask, like all these techniques, I mean, or is it the right time to ask question, or you still have some more else to present?
I don't know.
No, please, you should ask.
Yeah, but the question is like, so everyone has different style clearly, and then do you have someone to like guide you guys on the certain technique that you must follow? Like this part you must sibling, and that part.
Yes.
So
there's a technique that you have to follow.
I see.
So there's a reason why the drawing looks so consistent. Is if you just look at the drawings I'm going through, all the shadows, there's a certain way where the shadows should come at, which is usually at the upper left-hand corner. So when you put all these drawings, this one don't have a shadow, but when you put all these drawings together, it looks
at the same direction.
At the same direction. So that is that consistency that kind of draws you in. But then also material-wise, we have the same drawing style for like wood, for concrete or stone. So those are some standard styles. But then usually, depending on who draws it, they will have just a little bit of extra that, you know, only they can do it. You know, like when you're an artist, you kind of have the extra flair where you put into your drawing. And
actually, I want to show you guys the Cambodia, like the full set of the Cambodia drawings.
Oh, yes,
like just that you can get a closer look.
Yeah.
How many drawings are there per Vernadoc excursion?
It depends.
Depends on the camp. I've been to like my Bali camps. There are 50 to 60 people, so there are like 60 drawings. And then there are smaller camps. That is, you know, that is 4 of us, but we produce 13 drawings. So it really depends. But most, like I would say, a good comfortable number is usually 10 to 12 drawings.
Is there like a prep class or like a workshop?
No.
No, you don't learn on
You
the
can
spot.
ask to, yeah.
Yeah, there's no. I mean, there's this one session like before you ink, after you just done your pencil sketches. Then before you ink, they will show you like this slideshow of like previous, like what Nicholas is doing now, basically. And then you just see they kind of explain to you verbally, but then you're just like in shock because it seems like a very huge feat that you have to do the inking in the next 5 days. Because inking is like final, like it's the most final step, where all the graphics come out. So it's pretty scary, but in the end, you know, everybody could do it. Yeah,
I think everyone can do it. It's not
Is drawn on what paper?
Sorry,
what type of paper?
It's cartridge paper, but it's a good quality cartridge paper, where you can scratch it not too many times, but you can scratch it a few times
with the blade.
And it's usually smooth. It's not a rough paper, because if it's rough, your pen will get destroyed.
Yeah.
Question. So I noticed that like I mean apart I'm curious like how these buildings are selected, and also curious that what if like I mean I noticed that some of the buildings over there they are not like the buildings in perfect conditions. So
Mhm.
so what if you are assigned to a building where there is a damaged part or there's a broken? So
Yeah.
do you draw exactly the broken part or do you draw the version that is perfect? Like when
You
it's,
draw exactly what's broken, exactly what you see.
is there a reason?
There is a reason because we are not romanticizing the history, or like we're not putting we don't know whether or not that part should be there, right? Or how that part is built. So we don't try to put fake ideas into people's mind, but rather we document what is the condition that we draw on that day itself. And I think the reason is just to also have a documentation that, you know, this building was how it looked like at that certain point. But we're not trying to, because like we're not acting as conservative, like conservation architects. That's not really our main role. Our main role is actually more like documentation, because like if you talk about conservation, as in a conservation architect, there's a lot of different techniques about how, you know, certain materials are put in and stuff like. But then there's also like history behind it. So we try not to put in too much of that into the drawings. But it's basically what you see is what you get on the time that we draw.
I see. And on how these buildings are selected, the criteria.
They really depends on the organizer, but the idea behind is vernacular architecture. So, but it has ventured out into heritage buildings.
As long as
For
the
example,
represent local
so
culture.
I cannot explain what the other camps, why they chose. I know some of them, I know why they chose that, but for Malaysia at least, for the second camp was kind of what my other partner wanted to do, so I won't explain that. I'll talk about Klong actually. So Klong is a building that when I met the owner, they very much wanted to preserve this building and kind of give back to the community, because when they bought this building, they didn't know what to do. They know about Vernadoc, and I got in touch with them through a friend that they wanted to. Could we have this document? So I went and took a look at the building, even though it's not lived in. Is owner bought over the building from the previous owner. There was still some thing that was worth documenting, and there was a history behind this building. But the one thing that kind of sold me on why I decided to go ahead with this project was the owner wanted to give it back to the community in a way that, because all our drawings that we draw, the main idea was to publicize it, to make it public, to make it so that everyone in the community or everyone in the world have access to this drawing. So we don't sell the original drawings, and as an organizer, we keep it, and if someone wants to loan it for an exhibition, we can allow that. And if we want to exhibit it with other partners of Vernadoc, we also allowed it. So it's like an open network. Instead of when you guys do your magic drawing and stuff like this, it's always being controlled and, you know, put in the vault on the school, and they don't look at it for like 20 plus, I don't know how long. And a lot of universities
with our model,
and a lot of local universities do that too. They don't, you know, publish it. They don't. What are they doing with all these drawings? So the idea with Vernadoc is we want to make sure that public and anyone have access can look at these drawings, and because we want to make it as an open network that can be appreciated by everyone. So, you know, there was similar to what the owner wanted to do with that building. So I thought, you know, that we were kind of in line with the same philosophy, and once that building is renovated, the original buildings will probably go back to that building, and in a way, it's also like a gallery for that building as well. The drawings that we have. So that's how we chose the buildings. So, but the main thing is, I wish we could have more vernacular building, but which I think is usually the more interesting. Like the one in Bali, the bamboo houses, those are really worth documenting because they are slowly dying up. No one knows how to build this kind of buildings anymore.
The building techniques.
Yeah, like the bamboo shingles that they have. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You're saying you want to show some of the photos of the Klong project?
No, the close up, right? Let me see. I mean, I don't know. Sue, if you want to talk while I look for some drawings. Or you have questions you can ask.
Yes, from the floor. Have any questions? Seems like I'm the only one asking.
I think Ben had something to ask earlier.
Ben always has something to ask.
Ben,
What you want?
what you got? Questions?
I thought you want to show pictures?
Nicholas, want to show?
No, I thought Sue wanted to. I thought you say you have some pictures from the Cambodia that you
Yeah, I
wanted to
got,
show.
but you want to show the one first? In the Klong.
Not the Klong one, the Italy. I think Ben wanted to see the close-up one.
Oh yeah.
Okay, it's okay. Right now it's Super Bowl halftime. You can go get your drink and get your tea. Yeah, I think it's all cool. Or anyone has any questions so far? Like, how do I sign this one? How do I sign up?
Actually, I mean, if you're working, it's quite hard lah, cause it takes like 2 weeks. So if anytime you are free, you should totally go for it. If there's a camp going on.
When is the next camp though?
Don't know.
Yeah.
I think this year is probably postponed. There's actually supposed to be one in Australia, but I think it's going to be postponed.
Oh yeah.
But
Penang.
Penang people have approaches, but we are still keeping KIV for that one.
Why?
No,
So many things to document, please.
Because the reason why we are putting on hold a lot of things is because all these camps are sponsored by everyone who wants to sponsor, and this guy that wanted to sponsor us, it's the Manoplas building, and they want us to document the Manoplas building, and I was like, why do we want to document the Manoplas building? Because it's already renovated, like nothing is new here, it's just a facade. There's no reason to have a camp. I was just saying that I tell my partner not to say no, but if you have the money, perhaps we can push them to document something that is not so not so high profile, or something that is deserve mention at smaller scale. So we're just putting on KIV for that one.
So document 十种分校, right, Casey?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh yeah, Sizhong is Sizhong, but the one is terrible. That building is terrible.
I mean conservation works
Penang.
has been done quite extensively in Penang. I don't know. I think they've been doing a good job.
I think for the core zone, yes. I think if you go outside the core zone, I'm sure there must be something.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah. But what I mentioned about Shizhong Fenxiao is there's this pretty big abandoned building, but I don't know what kind of heritage style it is, but it's famous because it's haunted.
Oh.
Oh, okay. One more question. Since it's related, somehow we can relate to it. Is okay. The building is private, but let's say I own that building. Let's say that plot of land is mine. So someone who want to sponsor means that you need to get the owner's permission to able to proceed.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. So beforehand we document. We just talk to the owner. But most of the time, most of the building that we have, I think we know the owner, so we talk with them directly.
Yeah, Sizhong will be a good building. Yeah.
Are you seeing the screen? What are you? I don't know if.
No. Sizhong is a building that is abandoned.
In Penang.
It's been abandoned and
Okay.
then for a long time, but it's a beautiful building, but they are going to demolish it.
Okay.
But they're not allowed, so they leave it to rot.
Is anyone seeing my screen?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've seen it.
Yes,
Is that the photo of the
Bricks and the
bricks?
door.
So yeah, that's a close up, I suppose.
So is it watercolor, the bricks?
It's not watercolor.
Brush.
It's a 0.8 pen.
Ah, I see.
Okay, it's just them zoom in. Okay.
Yeah.
So your measurement
Damn.
all do it together and then you guys share the information, is it? Or you particularly
Yeah, you will share that
Yeah.
information.
Yeah. Usually
Or
we'll
related
share.
drawings. Yeah. So,
How many days to measure again?
1
5.
week, 5 days, 6 days. Usually 6 days.
Then
6
another 5-6 days for ink.
another 6 days
Yeah.
do the drawing and inking and everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
I want that curry.
Monte Crandall.
So this is Chom's drawing, Sue.
This is Cho's drawing.
Yeah. So her brick, I was lazy. I am not patient. So you can see like her brick is very consistent. I don't remember if she used, I think she used a pen.
Later, I show you guys the Cambodia one, right? This lady, she's the Phuket organizer, Phuket Vernadoc. But she drew the mural, like, it's so detailed. Like, it's like an actual mural. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can actually show here lah, since I have it here. So this is the floor plan.
Floor plan.
Full floor plan.
What the hell?
So this is a detail. This is a under floor plan.
Yeah. Because it's a raised building,
Yeah.
so this is like
So
below.
what you see from below, what you don't see it. But it's actually nice to document it. You can actually see how they actually build it.
This is really nice.
Yeah.
But how do you actually take photos? Like you have to go underneath and
Yeah,
like
you have to go underneath.
Yeah. This
Oh.
guy was just the right height.
so insulting.
Oh, this is Vista.
Yes, it's bizarre. So this is a section. So yeah, so this was there because right. You don't see here, but they have this watercolor because the interior of the building there's actually all these murals. We are not conservation architects, so we don't really do so much detail. But so she decided not to draw the murals because it's really just about the architecture and the space itself. So this is a ceiling plan. So there's 2 buildings, what we document. So this is another section. Whose drawing is it? We2.
So it really depends on what the message or what the organizer wants to portray. Am I right? Because I feel like in one simple drawing, even the section that you showed just now, hatching, different gradient of hatching, really depends on what you really want to show. Like if you really want to show the space, or you really want to show the lights, or you want to show the
yeah. So sometimes you gotta make decisions, especially when it comes to shadow, because shadow is very tricky in a way that we need to calculate how deep this building is when we cut it. So how deep are these furniture is in relationship to, like, let's say the column in the front. So there's a distance. So when you cut it, does this cast a shadow onto the buildings, the ornaments behind? So we need to have all these calculation. But sometimes when you calculate it and you think that it's hiding certain part that you wanted to show, so you got to make that adjustment. So it really depends on yourself, whoever's drawing this building as well.
But you always have someone who know what emphasis to put on.
Usually, if you're doing it for the first time or you're not familiar, there's someone that would be there to help you.
Awesome.
So this is floor plan. this is front element of the side. The side.
There was 2 buildings, by the way. This is the second one. There was
This
another.
is, so this roof tile,
Oh,
you have to do it one by one.
oh my god.
Uh,
The gradient.
What the heck?
Oh my god, the gradient though.
I went to an exhibition in Publica once,
Yeah,
and I saw like there's one drawing with like a cat.
yeah.
Like, is it intentional to draw a cat, or like was it really just in the right place and right time?
It's probably the guy who's drawing it decided to put in the cat. Maybe the cat lives there.
Friends, you want to say something? Is it?
No, sorry, right.
I think the cat adds a flavor to the drawing.
Yeah, it definitely did.
So here you go, guys. You will
This
see
I
the
think.
exhibition, but you see everything right now in front of you. Free.
I don't know we did anything.
Oh, can you show the Choms on the mural?
Yeah, I don't know.
I
I have it. Oh,
It's
here,
on-
this one.
Yeah. No. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, so this is the mural in the building, inside the
yeah.
building.
You
Yeah.
want Midsommar?
Megan, you say something?
It looks like a Midsommar mural. What the heck?
Looks like a what?
Midsommar, the film.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's damn
Is
pretty.
it? Oh. Yeah, so she actually measured the size of, the motifs in the mural or the humans or whatever, like proportionally.
Is she really measured? Okay,
Yeah, I mean-
proportionally.
Proportionally,
Yeah.
not really measure lah, but she like tried to. Yeah, I mean she took into account walls that were scuffed or like not clear, and she drew it as it is lah. So that is the message that she's trying to show.
Yeah, it's really detailed actually. Can you see like kids dancing?
Oh my god.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
This is like drawing another like 10 drawings apart from the structure.
yeah, exactly. Drawing in a drawing.
Yeah, drawing. Yeah. So yeah, you have people like that. I think in Thailand there are definitely a lot of talented people. Not just her, there are others I met. So yeah.
Awesome.
Nice.
So are you still gonna share some photos?
No lah, I think it's fine because mine are mostly just my experience photos in Cambodia. But I think drawings wise, Nicholas pretty much covered it.
I see.
Yeah, unless people have experience. What was your experience like? How was the camp? I don't know.
I like.
What can you expect? What can you expect? I guess people might ask like, what can you expect in the camp apart from what I showed you?
Oh, I think you can expect people to be very helpful lah. Like it's a pretty intimidating feat to like produce so many drawings in 2 weeks for everyone. But I mean, if it's your first time and there are seniors there, like the more seniors, the better for sure, because then you have like lots of different people to ask from, and everyone's really helpful because they really understand that it's something very new. But I think you learn a lot of things like measuring things that you can't reach, so sometimes you just have to compromise. Like my motif, if you can see the drawing there, it's the column on the left and right, and it's pretty tall, so people had to help me climb on a ladder and take pictures, and I just like proportionally draw it lor. So and the thing is, you can pretty much, if you're not late like Nicholas was on his first day, his first camp, you can basically choose your like whatever you want to do. So I chose a detail because I thought it would be less work, but I was so wrong. So you can choose whatever you're more interested in, and then maybe in your next camp you can choose another type of drawing, and I guess that's how you like progress.
I think like the section as per share screen right now is something, I think it's a very It's very nice drawing. Nice in the sense that because when you're in a building, human eye perspective, you can't really see the section. Section in a way is really like a
True.
imaginative kind of drawings, but you combine the building facts, to draw the thing out, see in the elevation 2D panels. I think
Yeah.
it's something, and then it conveys so much message at the same time.
Section is probably the hardest
Yeah.
drawing.
Appreciated, I suppose, of all the.
Not this one.
That's what I thought.
Because it's quite technical.
So this one was in China. I think the girl who drew this, Elena, she's an expert in heritage and conservation, and she drew this. We had to figure out like a lot of parts where the back end, but it's really beautiful. If you can draw a section, it takes a lot of time because you actually have to think like how these components are attached to certain things, like how does it work in order to draw it. So
a certain degree of architectural knowledge has to be
there. Usually section, not everyone can draw, but usually elevation is easier. And detail, of course, is easier for anyone who don't have background in architecture. They can draw.
Because technically, you cannot see and like getting the experience. So like the structures and correspondence to the plan, I think it's a drawing that will be appreciated.
Yeah.
Hey, Nicholas. Oh, sorry. You continue first. Sorry.
I just want to share this one. This girl is very smart. She's Chinese. She's studying in.
Right, Chinese are smart.
She's studying in Germany now, doing a PhD, I think. But she's smart in a way because this building, if we cut, this is a complex, like a 四合院 kind of style. Actually, it's like a 四合院. But if you cut it at the same level of the plan, you will see the same thing. But because there are these beds that is in the room, which is kang, is actually raised, and they put like charcoal below it to heat the bed. But she cut it because two of the building is very similar. So like if you look at the top part, like she cut her plan to show the bottom of the bed, and then this is actually, if you cut through the building, this is what you see. So in that way, you have that relationship, like there's actually different height, or it's not just a single level sort of plan, and you can have a lot of detail in a lot of information actually in this one plan. So that's a very interesting and smart way of doing a plan cut to show the different information that's in the plan. Because if she have cut it like in the same way as the lower portion, like I wouldn't know that there's actually a raised platform. Even through the depth, I wouldn't know what's happening underneath it. So I thought I've never seen someone do this in most of the plan drawings.
Awesome.
Wow. This is not.
Right.
Do you want to show them Marco's drawing?
Marcus, I showed already.
Oh.
It's very simple. I only have one. This one?
Marco is the founder of actual Vernadoc from Finland. So it started in Finland. But he did 2 A1s. So
his drawing is very simple and clear. Like it's, what's happening. And it's very clean. And it's we call it a Finnish style because just the way he does it. It's like very clean, very, no mess kind of thing. And his paper is really clean.
Because he's been doing it forever. And every day he's just like, okay, I'm done. And he gets earlier and earlier every day because he finished.
These Finnish, they're very efficient. I don't like. Yeah. So I mean, like, yeah. So if you join especially all this international group, you get to meet a lot of different people, like the way they work. And I for sure, when I was in Italy, the one thing that I didn't expect in the camp was there was no Italians in the camp. just like, what the hell even am I even doing there? It's like, so there was no, cross-cultural references, but it was just very strange.
Well, maybe there are
Okay.
any
Yeah.
questions from the floor?
So, yeah.
Right.
No, you already asked all the questions that we wanted to ask.
I
So,
see.
Okay.
That,
I'm sure someone else can always ask later, I guess, I suppose.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, it
So
was
would you guys want to join? Like,
Sorry?
would you guys want to join?
yeah, given COVID is away lah.
Probably, right? It's pretty interesting. Yeah.
I would want to join.
Yeah. Really fun lah. It's really fun. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just a big group of people, and that makes it like a lot.
I think there's a group is there someone in Singapore? You can probably start one in Singapore.
Do you know what do you know what buildings you're gonna draw prior to going there, or only realize that when you go there?
I mean, you only see it for the first time when you reach, but you probably know the area or the name of the building lah. You could know. But
Imagine going all the way there, then get disappointed by the building.
but once you start drawing, you're disappointed in yourself.
Oh, the burn.
Yeah.
I don't know if you get disappointed, but I don't think I.
Won't lah.
I think
Yeah,
for all the camps that I've been, except for the Malaysian one, I didn't know what to draw, actually.
What do you mean? You
I
don't know?
I didn't know what to draw. I didn't know the building.
Oh.
Like certain parts, yes, but you also, like, the thing is, if you're first time, you get to choose, which is very nice. But if it's your second or like third time, you don't get to choose.
Oh, the drawing is
The
it?
drawings.
Yeah.
So you're like, if they ask you to do, you gotta do this one. Like,
To answer to Ben's question, I think that's the point, right? If you're first there and then you're disappointed by the building, and that is the point you go there and appreciate the building by just drawing it, right?
yeah, true.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nothing to say there. Okay, I'll move on lah.
yeah, so anything else to add on? Then we will ask the floor if there are any more questions. But thank you though. I think it's a very nice sharing, like really to show not just the effort, the techniques, and the time spent. It's a good data to collect and then to archive it for the future.
Yeah.
Any
Thanks, Lucas.
Thank you, Sue.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any
Cool.
questions? 1, 2, 3, no?
Reaction.
Joyee,
Reaction.
something there. You thumbs up for what?
This is exactly like it's like the new normal. So I just clap hand. How do I put?
Wow.
All right.
What's the organization called again?
It's called Vernadoc. VRNADOC. So we have a Facebook page, Vernadoc Malaysia. But because
of in view of this pandemic right now, probably will only resume next year. Is it?
Most probably, I'm taking a break for 1 year.
You're the founder, or you're the co-founder, so I mean the partner in that?
Now, because in Malaysia, they wanted, because the one in Taiping was in collaboration with UCSI. It's also their first time that they wanted to see if it works in the studio environment. So it was actually a studio project, like the first assignment that they had to go and do this measured drawing. And so you have 24 students with no experience. Of course, with no experience, you definitely get, you don't have the same quality of work compared to people who have done this before. So they tried out, and they were also thinking of if it goes well, which it kind of did. They were thinking of doing another one in the next sem, which is in like June or July. But I don't think that's going to happen so soon. So we might do it next year for Malaysia at least. Yeah.
Can. No need to come to Singapore. Singapore don't have building.
Don't have lah. Hey, but like,
No more vernacular here. It's all modern.
yeah, it's already so well built and conserved and everything. But I think you should totally go overseas because it's like free holiday. I mean, you know, you can
Yeah.
extend your stay in that place if you go overseas. And plus 2 weeks is like board and food paid for.
Yeah,
So,
room and board paid for. Just pay for the trip.
yeah.
Yes. Yes.
But Golden Mall could be a nice Vernadoc.
It's too big lah.
Big, yeah, why, man?
Done, right? It's already done, right?
Yeah, Singapore is pretty much done.
Yeah. But this project really remind me of this Chinese architect Liang Sicheng. It's a document.
Yes, similar where what he did and then what he documented. Yeah, I actually have his book. Very detailed.
Yeah.
Yang Sicheng Chinese architect.
Just to add on, like there's this Indonesian architect that they go around. You know, like Indonesia, there's a lot of tribes, right? Like in the jungle, like they have really unique structures. They go over Indonesia, and then I think it's supported by the government. So it's like this architect firm has two sides. One side is architect, one is conservation. So they go around all these villages inside the jungle. You know, it take you like hours to get inside, and then they study the architectures just like what you guys did, document it, and then rebuild because it's modernized, right? Some of the element is modernized. Then they rebuild it and then kind of teach them the way of living the old life. So it's, yeah, it could be something.
What's the name of the organization? Do you recommend?
Because the architect firm, oh no, I think you should check out the architect is Joyee Lee. Our architects.
Y-O?
Can you type it out in the chat?
Yeah, maybe you can share it in the chat. So you can.
Yeah, I think Indonesia have a lot of very beautiful buildings because spread throughout all the different islands.
Oh, yeah. All right. So, thank you for the first session. We can go for a toilet break, and then if you don't want to, without further ado, we can start our second section with Mr. Kanampe and Miss Joyee Lee.
Okay, very short one.
Yeah. 去吧,来吧. You guys, anyone need to take a break, like a toilet break?
No. Wow, 9:30 了.
Wow, an hour geng mo. Thank God I didn't allocate the third speaker. I was like gonna sit for 3 hours over there.
Oh, I think ours one will be very short because it's a short workshop only.
No, I will ask a lot of questions.
Please don't.
Okay, you
Can I play the video here or?
Okay, the thing is,
I have to.
I figure out how to share the video with sound already. You can when you share screen, try to hover to the upper portion. Okay, where before you share screen.
I would like to share this video. I can't, right?
Yeah, the best students.
Can you hear the sound?
I actually can though.
Yeah, I can.
At Madrid, Polytechnico di Milano. So with this great group,
I can hear the sound.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this video is the documentation of our 5-day workshop in Madrid.
Kanan.
Yeah.
You're sharing the video or just sharing the screen? Have you clicked into the video yet?
No, you haven't played the video yet.
You play. Can you?
No, we cannot see the video.
You're not sharing the screen?
Okay.
Share it.
No worries. So you want to stop share first, and then you reshare it again, and then you can choose different windows to select.
You close your share.
Stop sharing. Share screen.
Yeah.
And file.
You go to your screen.
Okay. This one?
Yes, and then you try to click on the video and see if it pops up.
You can't. Oh, I know. I have to share another one.
We have here the best students
Wait a
from
moment.
exam.
New share. This one.
Yeah. This is like trying to teach my mom and dad how to use
Yeah.
So with this,
But can you guys listen the sound?
Yeah.
For imagining the future.
Can really shape the future.
In the period of crisis, it's highly relevant what people that are able to activate associative thinking can react and can propose visionary scenario for the future.
Well, I think it's a really good platform, this workshop, to have a lot of point of views.
I think the most interesting thing is actually the seminars and how these people in the afternoon they can exercise and then develop the projects.
What I find very inspiring is this dimension of collective thought.
This kind of teamwork is very, very useful because we join with different personalities.
We must help students to think on the future. Not only imagine the future, but to reflect on that.
Future is not only 10 years after, it's like more than 50 years.
This workshop gave me new vision of the architecture.
This workshop helped me to open my mind to learn to other disciplines.
While sketching, they try to put down their ideas of the future.
Our proposal is research about the table and the line.
And we try to abstract the concept to reach the first concept of the table. We discovered a lot more than a simple line and a simple legs.
This research generates a new prototype of a table of the future.
The future is not a problem of quantity, but of quality.
Our design proposal is about how, in future, what kind of house people need.
We are thinking about the possibilities that the technology gives us to control the environment.
I think that we should act more as a coordinator of a more complex framework of collaboration.
We are working in the airport of Stansted in London. So we are imagining the airport in the future.
We are proposing a vertical airport for the future.
Maybe in the future we can inhabit the air.
My advice to the young would be try to understand nature and reality and try to understand the complexity.
Rely more on their capability to transform through design ideas.
Okay. Okay. I'm Kernan. Okay, you can call me Ken, and she is Chloe.
I'm
Chashan, sorry. Okay. We are students University of Portsmouth in UK. So we have chance to join to participate 5 days workshop in Madrid. But this workshop is actually collaboration between the Politecnico di Milano and also Norman Foster Foundation and also the ESAM, which is the architecture school in University of Madrid. And why we can join the workshop even though we are not collaborating with them, because our tutor, which is the first Professor Alessandro, he is the friend with the curator,
the leader of this coordination. So he was told to recommend like 2 students of his to join this workshop.
Yeah.
So that's the reason that this is the opportunity that we gotten to join this workshop.
Yeah. So we have to tell about the workshop first, the vision. Okay.
Can you share like what was the workshops about?
Okay, let me say about the main impetus behind this endeavor is to create a tangible example of Polytechnic's culture and its beauty inspired by the Norman Foster in Madrid. So we have to do something with Norman Foster project. So there are three selected project for us to think about the future how these three projects can become. Like we have three scale of project. The first one is the small one, which is the table, the normal table by Norman Foster, and the second one is the house, Foster House, and the third one is the airport in London, Stansted Airport. Is all of three is made by designed by the Norman Foster.
This tree project is basically designed by the Norman Foster and partners, but this collaboration is basically with Norman Foster Foundation. They are actually different.
Two different organizations.
Yeah.
Foster and partners is more about the practical things. It's about now, and Foster Foundation is more about the future. They will do a lot of research about the future, how future will be like. Something there a lot of research for them, and so they will invite, I think 2 or 3 months, they will invite a group of students to join their workshop. Invite is selected, right? Yeah, they will invite students to participate in their competition or somehow. Then they will select 10 students to join their workshop. And yeah, for this project, you have to tell about this project.
I think it's interesting that you guys get to choose, right, from like 3. So there's 3 different projects. So one is as big as airport, the medium size is a house, then the smallest is a table. So you guys are in different teams, so you get to choose one of the projects to proceed with and imagine how it lies in the future, right?
Yeah, so basically before we go to the workshop, before we go to Madrid, we will actually send a few images of these 3 different, like the drawings of Norman Foster, of these 3 different projects. And we were not told that we were in this 3 different projects. It's just based on our presentation of our work, and the tutors select us into this 3, in these 2 different, because just 2 of us. We represent,
because we have students from Madrid, we have students from Milan, and we have students from UK. So they try to mix with different schools together
and different personalities of how you work on a project into 3 different groups. So it happens that Kenan was being categorized to a project of the Norman Foster table.
Yeah, Norman table.
Norman table, and I happen to be in the Foster House in Hampstead, and there's 3 more in the different groups. So we are not going to present the airport one because
we didn't know about
we didn't know much about the process. So basically,
they are proposed in future the airport will be like vertical ones. And maybe in future there is no more airport because people are just using like private jet or something. Teleporting, yeah.
I think the table and the house is interesting. So maybe you want to share individually and see how it like.
You start first.
So I think we start from the
house first.
Yeah, the meter scale. Choose the normal first. How you share?
How long was the workshop?
5 days.
5 days.
5 days.
Yeah. Okay. So
Casa mi casa.
Casa in Spanish is house. So we have these 3 different language because we have my other 2 group mates are Spanish, and I'm Chinese. So we have these 3 different meaning. Okay. So for this workshop, our group was being categorized. Was given this house to develop how we imagine a future house will be. So this is one of the drawing that we got from the organizer, and this is the sectional drawing of the house. So we have 3 different Foster House in Hampstead. So from this sectional drawing, the first thing we abstract from...
What's the name of this
house? We just call it Foster House, and it's in Hampstead.
Foster House.
Foster House.
Sorry, you may go on.
So from this sectional drawing, the first thing we abstract from it is that the architecture of the house were defined by the fixed system that you can see from the drawing, which is the exposed beam structure and the flooring system. So both of them are the things that we can think that it's fixed that create an architectural space. But when we look into the detail of the drawing, the furniture and are the one who define the architectural space according to a user desired lifestyle. And the arrangement of it is arranged according to how we want and what kind of lifestyle we want. So the next slide, we found an image that clearly shows the flexibility of the furniture that creates an architectural space instead of creating an architectural space that holds the furniture. So we were thinking of why not we in future we don't really need a space to hold our lifestyle, instead of having like different kinds of furniture that could arrange it in a way that we can create our desired needs. So we think that this could probably be one of the options that could drive us to the solution of the final outcome. But in this image, suddenly we get into this image from one of the movie. I was thinking, what if climate change is getting more and more serious, where the natural environment is uncontrollable in future? So we imagine the future in a more radical and controversial way, where we could think of designing a space of a habitat that is totally something segregate us from the outside world. Like the image that you can see, the outside world is in a mess, but the guy here is living in his own comfort zone, where he is living in a space where he can control in a way how he wants to live. So we were thinking, then we thought of like inverting the external natural environment to an interior, and we invented a technical scheme that creates architectural space as a future house where it allows us to adapt to different parameters of the house. So this slide, from this onwards, it's the proposal of, it's like a final outcome of how we derive to a final idea. So go back to the sectional drawings of the Foster House. We try to bring in the natural environment. We basically contrast or invert the external natural environment into the interior as part of the house, without knowing what is it inside, what is it outside the house or the skin of the house. So our final outcome is we design a technical scheme of the house where it allows the future house to adapt to various situations or environment of different parameters. For instance, a living environment with an internal, with a nice view, a living environment with an internal swimming pool, a botanical environment, as well as a natural environment like a desert or a paddy field. So with this intention of the technical scheme, it provides the user a house which is flexible, adaptable, and controllable. So this is our final presentation board. So basically, we don't come out with a new typology of a house, but instead we just adjust the scheme, and we propose a technical scheme where it allows to adapt to different parameters, or we can say that we can control our own environment that we want to live in future. Yeah, so thank you.
Yeah. You can ask question later, but maybe I will present my tables first. Okay.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay,
Very interesting. Yeah, you have to see their presentation when they show all the slides. Yeah. Oh, you show video first?
Should I show a video first?
Okay.
No, I don't think they can see it.
This one is showing? No. Yeah.
So we have a video, our final presentation, we have a video that shows how this house can be transformed into different parameters and different environment that we want it to be with the technical scheme.
Yeah. Okay, I'll present my table. Okay, my project is about a table by Norman Foster. Okay, so this is my groupmate. Two of them are from the University of Madrid, and I think it's a very fun discussion with them because they don't really know how to speak English. Then we have to do a lot of hand gesture to chat with them and discuss with them. But it's very fun because our they are very crazy thinker. They come up with a lot of different idea and different proposal. Okay, so this normal table is by Norman Foster during 1987. So the structure of this table is by, you can see from the image, there's one spine and there's connected by two different leg and hands. So in last time, I think Norman Foster have this kind of idea that in future the tables will be a lot of created by structures, very modernist, and as you can see, a lot of table now is look something like this. So we throw our question is, what is a table? Table is a piece of furniture with flat top and one or more legs, providing a level surface for eating, walking, writing. Basically, a table can be anything when you want it to be anything. So our question is, will we need a table in future? Is table an object, or can table change the environment and space? Because we need to think about what actually table can do in future. So we found all the plans from table. You can see the table from meeting room, dining rooms, working environments, or a lot of different plans, and also the height. But of course, all these table is in the same height because it's quite rush for us to do the mapping for the table heights. And okay, this is the Robbie House dining tables. So we come up with a statement that the dimension of tables define the function of table, and the function of space defined by the presence of table. Because when you enter a room, when you see there's a dining table, you will know this is a dining room. And when you go to living room, you have a big table, you know, it's a living room. When you go to office, you have a lot of working tables, so it's working space. So we can say the table can actually define the space. Actually, it's like bring space the most common statements that follow function of function follow forms. Okay, so we come up with our research about tables. So the first table is by the Egyptian. They used to place all the food offerings on the top of the table, and they hide something behind below the tables. So it's like divide the two words by using a table. Tables tops is like a borders between two words, and as we foresee now, the table, we always show something good on the top of the table and hide something we don't want to see, or something is ugly under the table. So it also brings back to the first image of the Egyptian, that we kind of somehow link two image together and do a connection between them. So okay, this one, no, it's just discussion. Okay, and this workshop is actually to celebrate to memorize the 500 years of Leonardo da Vinci as 2019 marked the 500th anniversary for Leonardo da Vinci. So they try to, as we know, Leonardo da Vinci is a genius. He liked to imagine the futures, and also they linked to Norman Foster. Norman Foster also like to have a contemporary multidisciplinary thinker for Norman Foster himself. So we used the famous painting by Leonardo da Vinci, The Last Supper, and we found out that there's a lot of theory for the table itself. Like you see, we can use the table to differentiate different layers, and we can see the hidden story between them, the hand gesture, the food, and the silhouette of behind. So it's also not only the different layer in vertical, but also a different layer in horizontal. So okay, this is the Norman Foster table sketch. We found that the Norman Foster, he sketched the table not from top or from the from sides. It's always from the bottoms, because he liked to see the structure of the tables and investigate them. And okay, this is our proposal that we have a lot of different layers for tables, like we have different programs. Then why not we just mix them together and create a infinite program with using the tables. Okay, so we rethink the table again. The table is start from a spine. So what if in future the table is a moving object or is a moving spine? So in Leonardo da Vinci, he also liked to investigate a human body or animal bodies and have an anatomy study of their spine. So we are trying to imagine in future the table can be a moving object that they will move according to the needs. So these are the mapping of using a different spine and create different movement according to the humans' activities. So this actually this is actually the prototype to show how the spine is moving, and can become a new design or idea of the future tables. Yeah, and we actually using the different animal spine and try to collage them together and to create a new multi-universe spine. So our idea is actually that in future, maybe the table is not only a static object, can do according to the human needs or human activities, and it can be, you somehow define a new idea that the form not only define the space, but it's also define the functions. Yep. So don't think about this is like thesis project or thesis studies or very long research, because it's just like a 5 days workshop, and they didn't tell us what is our final outcome. They just want to let us to think about the one possibility of the future or anything they can think about. Yeah, and throughout this 5 days, there's a few professors will come to give a speech for us, like different professors have their different research about the future. So some of them, the future is more biological, in future is more technological, in future is more, they have their different approach, I would say. Yeah. And the outcome? No, I think it's all.
Can I just ask how is the process like? Can you just walk through a day by day sort of process? Like what do you guys do we did like the 5 day, because I'm interesting to understand how the workshop is.
So basically on the first day, I mean, like from the 5th day is our presentation day. So basically we don't really have a seminar in the morning, but from the 1st to the 4th day, which is Monday to Thursday, in the morning until the lunch break, we have a seminar from different speakers. Each day there's 2 different speakers to talk about their project, to share with us what they think about the future. And every morning before the speaker actually speaks to us, we have to present our idea that we developed the day before, which is after the seminar and after the lunch break. So all this seminar is taken in the Norman Foster Foundation, which is quite a nice.
Each group, they have actually a tutor to monitor the progress, is it?
No, we don't have tutors. We don't really have a tutor to actually
guide us,
but there's like a few just to see how we develop and whatever they can guide.
So basically, you listen to the seminar and you're on your own.
Yeah.
Some people will come by and see.
There's a few tutors that they will guide us, but not a specific tutor.
Yeah, they will just say, because they have their own outcomes or ideas, but they don't want to tell us. They just like let us to follow. Yeah.
Think it works.
Yeah. Okay. I have another slides. No, I show my day 2 slides first. So this day 2, we every day we have to come up with one presentation to tell about our process.
Elevator presentation. If you guys have heard about elevator presentation, which is you have to present it in the elevator time.
Yeah.
So it's within 3 minutes. You have to present everything and convey all your ideas so that all the audience can actually understand what you're trying to say.
The elevator pitch.
Elevator pitch.
Okay, so this presentation is my team's day 2 for my teams. We come up with an idea of the line, which is the table, because we are using table, and we found there's a line on the top of table if you see from the elevations. So we already come up with the idea of the table and different layers. So we sketch out using the table in different scale, it can create different things. If we enlarge the table, it can become the house. If we enlarge the table again, we can become a high rise or anything. So it can actually become different functions. So what if we rearrange the arrangement of the table by different layers, so we can get something like the gel or cloud, become something like this. But this one is just for day 2 because we don't have a lot of idea, and we have to brainstorming every day to come up with our final design. There's a lot of possibility because maybe in future there's no more table, everything is a screen. So we also come up with the idea that maybe there's no few tables anymore. We just come up with a blank patch. Then we will say, okay, in future there's no table, there's only a blank because everything is just digital or something like that. So, but it's very fun because I think we can share a lot of different ideas between us, and there's no restriction for us. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. This we have 5 days. The last day is presentation day, so we didn't do anything. We have a whole day for the 4th day, and the first 3 days we have different. We have a seminar in the morning. Then from 4th to 7th, we can have time to do our projects. So this is basically how is the structure of our workshop. Yeah. And I think it's more about the social with different peoples, because we are Malaysian and they are from Italy, they are from Spanish. They are Spanish, so they will bring us to their local bar and have a chat together and have the drink. They like to drink, so we even try their raw meat. Is their snack.
The cold meat. But how was working with your teammates? So I mean, you say they don't know a word of English. You have to do hand gestures. Like, how did you get? How did you come up with the ideas? Like who?
Right.
I think the most basic idea is the most basic tools is drawings. Yeah. We just draw and we will know how it's going to be. Yeah, you know. Like for Italian, they have some words is similar to English, so maybe they can get the meaning of it. Yeah.
I actually have questions towards more really related to the project that rather than the workshop. I mean, like for example, the first house that you guys show, I think I understand the ideas of having parameters machines around the existing envelope of the house to generate like different desired environment. So it's like each of them is like a individual greenhouse to combat whatever climate change out there. But so you guys have you guys studied in depth like what kind of, I mean, how does the parameter machine looks like, or is just an idea? So the machine is never studied in detail.
Yeah, it's basically just an idea because, yeah, as what we said, we don't really have a requirement of what we need to produce for the final outcome. So it's basically just to collect a not really practical but somehow logical idea.
I think it's the ideology. Yeah.
I think that's how usually.
Go in detail.
I think that's how usually workshops are, because you have such a short time, and you're just exploring different ideas, right?
Yeah.
But because I like going back, not this one, but I was looking at the table that you had. You started with the line in the first part, but then your line and your surface kind of disappear in the last final project, which I thought, because you basically took out the surface, which is gone. So that was an interesting process. I'm sure that was an interesting process.
Related to the drawings, right?
That in his drawings, like you started with a line, and at the end of the outcome of your final, you remove the surface. It was just the spine doing all the work.
Yeah. Basically, we are differentiate with the tabletop and the structure as skin and bone. So we took out the skin and then just left the bone, so we can see the purest thing of the table, which is the spine.
I think what you said was that the line is kind of like an interesting idea, but in the end, it's more dominate. I mean, the spine idea kind of dominates it over. Because in the end, you just for the spine idea, you're just taking it from a elevation reference, and then you put it on the table, and then see how the legs or the hands can matches the spine structure. Is it? Do you mind open up the diagram?
Okay. Sorry. Do you mean why are we coming up with the idea with the hand or head leg? Sorry.
I think it's just discussion. Like, do you mind open up the slides about the table? That one.
I'm sharing this, right? Oh, sorry.
Do you have the middle part, the process, like from the day 2 to the final? Maybe the middle part is the big chunk. That is like, how did you move from, starting with the line into the final one?
From which one? You mean this one?
Just now you showed the day 2 slide. That is the line fact, right? The day 2 slides. Is there a day 3, day 4 slide?
Yeah, I have to search because I haven't out the slides yet.
Yeah, you don't search, right? Do you remember like what happened? Like what change? Sort of in that process?
Okay. After we got an idea from of layer, let me check back my chat. Sorry.
Enough. This is scary.
Like crit,
Crit.
Like tutorial.
What
Lakers crit, Lakers.
No, it's not.
Stress.
No.
Stress.
I'm
just forgot.
Don't stress. I'm just curious because workshops are very fast usually. I mean, I went to a workshop also, but we didn't have an outcome. But it was a very fun process to
Yeah.
asking like what is idea A suddenly become idea C? Where's idea B right now?
I want to see the process.
A lot of options, and we finally choose one which is more. We can come up with models or the videos that is more tangible. So we just choose the best for us. Like we also come up with the idea like
so the line has no
in future the table there's no leg, there's only the skin, so everything is just float on top. But that one is very hard for us to do the models or do the animations because there's nothing for them to imagine. But with the spine, we have something to prove to like as a evidence for us to keep working on it. Like we can use Leonardo da Vinci theories. We can use the normal Foster because they have a spine of it. So it's better for us to do with this option. Day 3. Let me find day 3. Okay, I don't.
Okay, if you cannot find it.
Maybe I can show.
Can you touch a bit on Stansted? I mean, I know that. Is it possible? It's interesting to see like what's the correlation between these three things.
Yeah, that's true because like the first and second kind of had a relationship, but going into a larger scale, how does that?
Maybe I can show some photos of Stansted groups.
Probably gonna text me and say, I don't want to join your sharing session. I don't want to join your sharing session ever again.
It's like I just woke up and then you asked me.
How do you know?
I mean, if you don't have any, just slightly, describe to us or something,
It is more stress than I present in front of normal Foster. Normal Foster don't even ask me this question.
No, at least I have some preparation before the presentation, but now I have to switch all the files again.
Did Lord Norman Foster ask anything though?
Was he there?
He was there, isn't it, in the photo?
No. Normal Foster's he came on Monday, but our workshop is finished the day before he came, so we couldn't meet him.
Finished the day before.
You just can't say hello.
It's Friday. Our workshop is end on Friday, but he's coming on the next Monday.
You also hardly see you in the office.
Come and show face only.
Yeah,
he is the big brother. He is the big brother.
Does he have an office in Madrid?
Sorry?
Does he have an office in Madrid?
Yeah. His third wife is from Madrid. So he established the Normal Foster Foundation in Madrid.
He stay in Madrid. He stay in Spain. That's why he don't need to pay tax in England.
Now Brexit lah.
Fucking businessman.
Yeah, that's why everyone can go back to England and pay tax. It's on the news. It's quite big news.
Yeah, common skills.
Yes.
Okay, I got a
day 3, day 4, and day 5. Make sure everything. It's full on crit, full on.
I don't want to join next time. I think this is their project. No.
More like the flow, like how does it get from the first idea, the second idea, to the third, and to the final.
I'm sure because you have Italians and Spanish there, right? You don't work late. You finish
Okay, this for the standard groups.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is what?
They are in future. They're using the structure of stencils. If it's like an umbrella kind of look, so they just do a, I don't know, it's actually a 3D print model on top, if you can see. So it's like a 3D towers with
So like
structure itself. So they are imagining the future the airport is like built vertically.
You mean
so,
the airport is built vertically, so the runway it's run.
no runway.
There's no runway anymore.
The airplane just fit in. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, you mean the structure or the airport? They're using the idea of the airport structures?
They're just using they didn't come up with the whole idea of airport, but they are imagining maybe they can keep develop the structure itself and
No,
make it.
you mean the planes comes in, like how does it sit on it? Just sit on it or just like stuck on it? Just starting to.
No, maybe in future there's no more airport. There's something new.
It's like it looks like one of those blimps, like those hot air field. No, I don't know what to not hot air balloon, but you know, like the one in the
steampunk one. No, the Amazon delivery hot air balloon.
Sunny highs.
Yeah, the Zeppelin. Yeah.
Highs. Everyone jump from the plane or the parachute and then.
Well, you're very stressed.
Next.
Okay, this is.
It's not my segment. Why you keep roasting me?
This one is our group's one. We also come up with a more different spine. So each pieces they can exchange the location. So it can be. It will come up with a meaning that if you want this movement, you can change to this movement. And
so my question now is like, how does you relate how do you determine that this portion of spine and then with the movement of the table?
No, there's no define. It's just
it's a 5-day thing.
You're thinking too much.
It's a 5-day thing. It's good enough already.
You define one thing, you want to change or you want to develop, and you have to imagine in future. You know, maybe in future there's no more tabletop. It's not made by glass. It's made by the skin or anything. You have to imagine that. So we just choose the spine, unfortunately.
Wait, no. I think Joyee, what you're trying to ask is how he relate which part of spine is to which joint, is it?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. You have a very interesting diagram.
I'm also confused with that one.
You show your legs at.
I understand his work.
And then this related to different function. But how does you relate this thing, or you just simply inspired by the elevation of the spine, and then you draw the legs and hand accordingly, and then you relate that to the function?
Yes. There's no you mean, okay, let me share this one. How do I okay.
Maybe
you
just
mean
explain
this portion,
maybe
is it?
Maybe just explain one of them, like what do you do in that one?
We usually get the idea from the robots. Let me
我也出现了，还有什么 idea 没有出现
That's so detailed.
Damn stressful.
You draw all the diagram yourself, the ones above.
Yeah, everything.
My ultimate still got band never.
Is it grasshopper?
It looks really
grasshopper.
Yeah.
Okay, the robot. You guys know this robot? This one?
Don't know. Not.
You can imitate.
Oh yeah.
Boston, yeah.
Boston robot.
Yeah.
Boston.
Black Mirror.
What's that? What's that?
Very excited. Black Mirror.
No, what's that? Please enlighten me. I dumb.
See the Netflix film. So we actually get the idea from this robot, and imagine in future the table may do something like this. And if you see the movement or the motion, we don't have any. We just try to find the animal's movement. Then we just insert the spine of it and become a.
This kind of reminds me of I forgot the artist name already, but this artist, he invent a structure, but it's operate by winds, and then it's like biomimicry that you walks on the.
Is it the guy who did the bamboo thing in Penang the other day?
Yeah. It's not.
I don't know the name.
The Dutch guy.
It's an artist. Let me find the name.
Yeah, we're similar, connected. Yes.
Phil Johnson, is it?
Something Johnson. Wait, let me think.
Boris Johnson.
No.
Phil Johnson.
Just recover.
Oh yeah lah.
Okay, that we can roast
Are you coming
Carson
back
now.
UK? Jovin, are you coming back UK?
He's stuck here.
I'm stuck in Malaysia now.
Oh
Cannot
shit.
go. Are you in UK now?
Yeah, I'm still in Portsmouth.
Ah, okay.
Still have
Portsmouth is not so Portsmouth is not so dangerous.
Yeah, but the death rate is like the death rate in whole Malaysia. We already
Yeah, I
have
know.
100
But
something.
at least you're in London though.
Yeah, London is crazy, man.
Yeah.
So they still go outside and sunbathing.
Yeah, Brighton, they go to the beach, man.
Oh,
Crazy.
Crazy, man.
Siao eh.
Yeah.
Brighton they go to the beach.
I think it's gonna take until next year. Gonna take until next year, the quarantine or whatever.
UK I think like longer though. They don't have enough supply, you know.
Yeah, Till Jensen, this guy. If you guys seen
Okay, this guy also we have one conversation about this project as well with my teammates, and they said, okay, we can try to do something like this.
how you
come up
convey with your teammate you draw this.
Like
Oh,
moving,
yes.
moving, wind blow.
I would say they are not very good with English, but they still understand some of the words.
So can I just like so who kind of came up with was it a collaborative idea or was it just you?
Yeah, it's a collaborative idea. We have one
It's a love story. It's a love story.
I feel like
It's a love story.
saying something very bad. It's the Chinese who do all the job.
No.
No.
They are the top student in the school, you know.
Oh.
Yeah, but even still, Spanish and Italians, they're not.
They are very chill. They are super
I
chill.
say they are more
doing all the
chill.
Theoretical person.
They talk more lah.
Present though.
Do the work lah.
But they English, right? How do they present?
Yeah, did they present in Spanish or Italian or whatever?
How do they
Auxilian, ciao.
Buongiorno, io sono Kendo.
Oh!
Sì, vale.
Vale.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all. There's not a lot of thinking. Not said a lot of thinking. A lot of theory, support theory behind. But yeah, it's just
Not a lot of working.
I think it's like
Not
so well.
not a lot of working, right?
Yeah, actually we do a lot.
Low key, don't want to expose people.
The main thing is
because his name is Ken. He got English name now. Ken.
Oh my god.
Now when you
I can do
went overseas.
So I don't want to change it into a game code group, please.
Oh my god.
It's like annual thing, like an annual workshop.
No, it's like monthly, ma. He said it already.
It's like between 2 or 3 months, but because of this pandemic, they just cancel it, I think.
Also, you only attended the first part, which is the 5 days. There was monthly thing every month at 5 days, 5 days, 5 days.
They are a different topic, right? I think I'm mistaken.
Is that what you mean?
I'm not sure about the next event but I think most of them is about the future. They have to imagine about the future.
So every month is a different program, but it's a different
every
person.
2 months. Every 2 months, sorry.
Okay.
They have to select a student from I overheard from the organizer. The next event, they have 200 participants, and they have to select 10 of them from all around the world. So yeah, I think it's a good chance, good opportunity.
Ben has a question.
Yeah.
He's asking, what is the feedback by the panel? What was the feedback by the panel?
Yeah, they're very supportive. They're very
a
lot of comment, and because
who is BC?
The workshop, so they don't want to create a lot of the bad thing or something. They know it's just a short brainstorming periods between us.
So it wasn't very critical.
Yeah, no.
Not as critical.
Who is BC?
It is Ben.
Who is
Ben?
BC?
Introduce yourself, please.
How come you got 2 accounts? How come you got 2?
Because one I.
Oh dear.
Self-explanatory already lah. So.
Yeah. The other is
pattern
the audio.
Pattern Ben.
I think it's cool. Anyone has any more questions? Before Nicholas continue to babble.
No, I'm just saying, we haven't talked to Chloe.
Chloe had another conversation already, so she couldn't join. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Well, sorry about the table.
The table has already had enough discussion and bashing.
But
no, there's no for our proposal. There's no more plan. There's no
the
more.
Skin, Ben. It's
try
the skin.
to join the two words between the above and bottoms together. There's no more border between the world above and the world below.
Okay.
I'm like doing
It's
the
the back.
live.
It's the backboot.
No, do you mind elaborate more on the line? I'm actually interested in the. I understand is the idea. So you have this spine idea, you have this line idea, you have the table above and below idea. I think they are all individually very good idea. So can I go to the line one? I just want to understand the line.
The line is because the Foster have a line.
The line is
because
the
what
spine.
do you start, man?
The line.
I don't know how you related to the painting, and then we didn't continue to develop.
No, we did. We just tried. Okay, I'll say.
That's our question. How did you direct to the
It's
line?
invisible now.
Yeah, it's invisible. We don't want to have any more line. We just try to
Right. Sorry, my dark mind cannot pick up.
and become one dimension.
Oh my god, Joyee, you're such a meme right now.
You mean this one? The table.
Yes.
Okay. We can see the horizontal. No, this one is vertical layers by using the tables, and this one is this explanation is about the horizontal layers, because we can see the front one is the hand, the middle one is the foot, the back one is the silhouette and the background. So we know by using a table we have the horizontal layers. So we're trying to merge all the layers together and create the infinities connection between them. So there's no more layer. Everything is connected together. In future, everything is just merged together, and we have using a spine to create movement and everything. So we can see we don't see the horizontal layer, we don't see the vertical layer. Everything is just in one pieces. And we take out the skin, which is the top part of the table, because we think if you just lay flat, you can do a lot of things on top. Why don't we just and you have a defined space for the room or for the space. So we just use the spine, and maybe in future you can create something they just specific for you. So we won't take the space.
In a way, you completely took out the meaning of a table, but rather you concentrate on the function of what a table really is.
Yeah. Only. We concentrate on the function. So we use
what do you do on a table rather than why does a table have to be flat?
Yeah.
Right.
Are you gonna wrap the skin, right?
Yeah, there's no skin, ma. Where got skin?
No skin.
It's something like a Swiss Army knife table.
Yeah.
No skin. I don't. No skin. I don't. I don't understand.
No skin. No skin. He took the skin out.
Then, no,
but it's a all is a plain. But all is a plain, no.
No,
all
but so
plain,
if you so that's why I want to ask him, like, can he
I thought
explain,
there's
like,
a skin. I thought there's a skin, so it turns. At least there's still like
no skin, because that's why I want to ask if you can explain, like, the diagrams of the little skeleton. Like, what is that function when it goes up like this, or like?
I mean this one.
No, not this one. The one with a lot of the small little diagram.
This one.
Yeah, this one, yeah.
Okay, I tell the story of this one. Okay, this one is we actually imagine in future maybe the table can be something like organism, like the birds, like the bat, like a chimpanzee, or maybe like a dog. So we just insert the spine as the joint, and they can become a lot of different movement that the current table cannot be done. So so we give an idea, like in future the table as an organism, it can move according to what people wants, and it can do whatever the table wants itself.
In terms of typology, it's still the same, right? You still have a plane for the function purpose.
For this one, yes, but this one is not our final thinking. It's just a process. We just use this to come out to explain in future the table can become an organism, and this one is like a metaphor of the meaning.
Okay.
Yeah. No more question, please. Almost forgot this.
Oh God. Actually, what do you do in the workshop? Like, not the design, but like.
Let me tell you what. Okay, the sketch is not done by me. I'm finder.
Sorry, just before you answer the question, I just think that the sketch that you showed just now. Like, stop! I just want. Oh my God, I want to look at this sketch for a very long time. I just think that a lot of potential can be developed other than slow down. Like this is actually very interesting. I thought, like, the table as a line, and then what you do above and what you do underneath. I think this is very interesting. I
think this is the day 3 what we present, and they have the some create about this. Like they quite like there's a border using the table to differentiate the world above and the world below. So
wow.
They are asking us, why don't you do something? No, can you come up with some idea that do more develop about this border or something like this? Maybe you can make the border more bold, or maybe you can make the border disappear or something like this. So we just continue develop using the line. Yeah.
But you say no, so you want to do organism.
I think biological is the future. Yeah, that's all. Thank you very much.
Yay!
Yay.
That's awesome. I think it's cool. I
So
like.
who is the next speaker?
Huh?
You lah. Oh,
Who
but
is the next speaker?
did you have time to explore Madrid after the workshop, or you like went straight home after that?
So we still have 5 days in Madrid, like after
Oh.
the workshop. So we explore all the places.
Oh wow, so nice. 10 days.
Yeah, this very beautiful and very vibrant cities. You have to.
When was it?
Spain.
When was it? When?
January or February. February, I think. And the sun, they are in UK. The sun is like spring. It's quite cold, but in Madrid, they're already like summer weather there. It's very nice.
Jing, you have any question? Eugenia, you have anything you want to say? Have friends?
Nope.
All right.
Oh, very sian already. Lockdown.
I
Nothing.
think today's Singapore what?
Singapore CB until June.
CB now.
Event happening just now 7:55 p.m. I think they initiate an effort, right? Everyone
You're supposed to sing, right?
yeah,
wait.
But it's just people screaming.
Yeah.
waving their phone and singing. Like, it's like a shout out to those health worker lah.
Yeah.
Like clap hand like that. Like Thursday
What they shouting?
NHS.
I cannot hear what they shouting.
I think I also don't know what I shout lah. I just shout.
CB, like CB.
But Malaysia, we locked down for locked down for 2 months. We haven't said anything.
Yeah, lor.
Malaysia total 2 months.
I think Singaporeans a bit extra.
Singapore.
Who is in Singapore now?
Oh, that's true.
Who is
Sorry.
in Singapore now? Who is in Singapore now?
1,
You?
2, 3, 4, 5. 5 over here in Singapore.
Man.
Hey, the band I thought in Singapore also? No?
No.
I'm in
Ah.
KL.
Think
Oh.
4 of
Hi.
you. Yeah, Casey, Nicholas, Joeyee, and Ben. And then Megan's in Germany. Kernan is in UK.
Hey, Joey, you know Ben?
Don't know.
Oh.
We just met today.
Oh, just went today.
Right? This Ben. This.
Acquaintance.
Acquaintance.
Okay.
Acquaintance.
Alright.
Guys, it has been a very fun 2 hours. I hope you enjoy.
2 hours plus.
Yeah, 2 hours plus lah. About 2 hours and a half. Yeah, but
So
I hope
what's on the menu? So what's on the menu for next week?
you guys introduce this speaker. I'm very tired. I need to go and find.
Hey, it's our event, what the hell?
Hey, actually, I got this friend who's a fashion student. He studied at one academy, and then I think he's quite good lah, like his stuff. I forward you his profile, but like I don't know if he'll be interested to get out in front of a bunch of strangers.
Sorry? What?
I don't know if you'll be interested to talk, but I'll let
This
you
is
know.
Tinder. This Joey's Tinder. This is this event is Joey's Tinder.
Sure. I don't mind talk to your friend. Or what you guys want to hear though? Because essentially you guys,
what do you guys want to hear?
What do you have? Menu, yeah, menu.
Actually, I was just sharing that every
Too early, 8 o'clock. I got dinner, like 8:30 better.
Hey bro, we 2 hours leh. I know 10:30.
I know, 8 o'clock.
In my family house now, you guys.
8:30. Everyone changed to 8:30 because of you.
No lah, I mean like better timing, right? I don't know, I suggest only.
No, I was thinking like every week was like we have architecture and arts. So like for example last week like someone shared about the architecture hardware and then software, and then the third person will share about arts. Then today is like I think Kernel one is more on research, so I think it's software, and then Nicholas one and Sue one is more on the things that's already built, and then it's more on the representation. So there will be like hardware, but this week we don't have arts. So perhaps next week I can invite some artists to talk about their work if you guys interested. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Or what kind that you guys and also I've been talking to Ben as well on COVID-19. Like yesterday he attended this sharing session with those artists. They are musicians, they are poets, they are dancers from East Malaysia, so Sabah Sarawak there. So they are talking about like during this period of time, how does this thing affect their career lah? But more importantly is they to a realization, to a conclusion whereby this pandemic, right? I mean, since it impacts us right now, it might impact us in the future, like maybe in the next 10 years or next 20 years. So will it actually affect how we design or how we actually see the world differently? Like for example, I just give a very simple example. Like for example, buttons. Like we have buttons all over the place, right? But because of this pandemic, people don't care about hygiene, right? People don't dare to touch buttons anymore. So elbow, use key, etc. So would it be the case that in the future, because people fear that this pandemic will come back, there's no more buttons anymore? And then imagine if just take away this simple mechanism, the lift without a button, how would it look like? Isn't that an interesting thing to think about it?
I got a very interesting thing. I kind of like I you know, it's like if we after lockdown, right? Can we imagine like how do we go for like shopping in H&M, things like this? Because you're gonna go to try all those clothing, right? It's like contact on your bodies. How like retail store gonna change though, like fashion retail?
I think definitely VR, AR will come into play again. It's like
But you cannot.
shade.
But the mapping is like not very accurate. I don't know. I was thinking this a few days ago.
There's actually a full body suit that I saw online that actually takes your measurements and send to the supplier, so they will choose a size for you.
Oh.
Yeah, so cool. Then you use your phone app, then they will somehow detect because there are sensors around like that particular one-piece suit, so they get your whole body proportion and dimension. Yeah, I came across one before lah, so it's kind of cool.
I know specs I know. Specs I know.
But then
Classes I know, like using app.
Fitting is another one thing, but then feeling it is another thing, you see. Unless you're telling me they can send me a note,
a sample.
just paste on and I know how this feel, whether I really like it or not. Or they can send sensation across my mind and how does it feel on my body.
True.
The tactile side of it.
Tactile. No lah. Green screen only I use like all wear green color and then that's it.
So like you said, how does retail look like after this? Because we have to see it in the sense that maybe this crisis, this pandemic will hit us again in 10 or 15 years. So
maybe like Donald Trump said it will go away, like
need to
go away.
No lah, I need to inject some bleach.
Disinfectant.
Yeah, just inject some Clorox, like.
Just drink it lah.
Just drink Clorox, Drink Clorox. Yeah. And detox some more. After drinking, you can shit better also.
Okay. So I think we'll wrap up the night. Thank you everyone for coming. Can we look at the screen? So I'm going to screenshot and picture on it.
Thank you for
1, 2, 3. All right. Guys, goodbye. See you next week.
Thank you.
Bye everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Sweet ask Muhyiddin. Yeah.